How did guards sleep in medieval castles without freezing to death? 2 hours of relaxing history. Hello guys, today we will know about a quiet and cold world from long ago. A world of stone walls and slow footsteps. A world where nights were long. And warmth was never taken for granted. Tonight, we travel gently to a medieval castle town in northern Europe. During the early 14th century. This narration is meant to help you relax. To let your thoughts slow. And to fall softly into sleep. There is a quiet tension in this place. Not fear. Not danger. Only the steady watch of night. And the patience it demands. The castle rises above the town. Built of thick stone. Its walls pale and cold. Even in darkness. They seem to hold the night itself. Below the castle. The town lies close together. Narrow streets twist between wooden houses. Cobbles glisten with damp. Fog settles low along the ground. Oil lamps burn faintly. Hung at corners and gates. Their light soft and weak. Barely touching the stone. Barely pushing back the dark. The air is cold. Heavy with moisture. Breath appears with every step. Then fades again. Nothing moves quickly here. Guards walk slowly along the walls. Their boots worn and stiff. Leather hardened by cold. Each step measured. Each movement careful. They are not richly dressed. These are ordinary men. Not knights. Not lords. But workers of the castle. Their clothing is plain. Wool tunics. Layered cloaks. Hoods pulled tight around faces. Fabric patched many times. Under the wool. Linen shirts worn thin. Close to the skin. Holding what warmth they can. Nothing is wasted. The stone beneath their feet is cold. Always cold. It never warms fully. Even after the sun. Stone remembers winter. The guards know this well. They do not sit long. They do not stop moving. Stillness invites cold. Motion keeps life. Along the walls. Small shelters are built. Wooden lean-tos. Set against stone. To break the wind. These are simple spaces. Barely large enough to stand. Sometimes just enough to crouch. They offer little comfort. But they matter. Inside these shelters. A guard may rest briefly. Out of the wind. Out of falling snow. Sharing space with others. Below the walls. Inside the castle yard. Fires burn when allowed. Small and watched carefully. Fuel is never wasted. Guards warm their hands briefly. Turning palms toward flame. Then stepping back. No one stays long. Others must share. Meals are simple. Taken when duty allows. Bread dark and heavy. Porridge thick and plain. Sometimes a small piece of meat. Food is eaten slowly. Standing or sitting on stone. Bowls held close. Warmth taken in where possible. Then duty returns. Inside the castle. Rooms are narrow and cold. Even the Lord's halls are chilled. Stone walls draw warmth away. Fireplaces help, but only a little. Guards do not sleep in fine chambers. They sleep where space allows. Near gatehouses. In corners of towers. Along inner walls. Sleeping places are simple. Straw laid on the floor. Sometimes a wooden bench. A cloak wrapped tightly around the body. A blanket shared. Often several guards sleep together. Side by side. Back to back. Warmth is shared without words. Privacy has little meaning. Helmets are set aside. Weapons kept close. Not from fear, but from habit. Everything has its place. The night deepens. Wind presses against the walls, finding every gap. Whistling softly through stone. The castle answers with silence. From the town below, few sounds rise. A distant door closing. A faint cough. Then nothing again. The streets empty early. Shops close their shutters. People retreat into homes. Seeking hearths and straw. Leaving the night to guards. Children sleep below. Wrapped in blankets. While above them, on stone walls, others keep watch. Guards do not expect comfort. They expect endurance. They know the rhythm of winter. They have learned it over years. Step by step. Sleep comes in short moments. Never deep. Never long. A guard rests when he can. Then rises again. One sleeps while another walks. Duties are shared. Rotations slow. Voices kept low. The night listens. Frost forms along the stone. Thin and pale. It glitters faintly in lamplight. Then disappears as hands brush past. Cold never fully leaves. Inside a tower. A guard leans against the wall. Cloak wrapped tight. Eyes closed briefly. Breath slow. The stone steals warmth. Even through wool. The guard knows this. He shifts his weight. Moves again. These men learn their bodies. How long they can rest. When to walk. When to stand still. Knowledge gained through winter. Below. In the town. Homes built of wood and earth hold warmth better. Guards know this difference. Stone protects. But does not comfort. Still. The castle must be watched. Even in cold. Even in silence. Especially at night. The hours pass slowly. Marked by footsteps. By changing watches. By the dimming of lamps. Then their renewal. And as the night moves on, the guards endure it. Wrapped in wool. Sharing warmth. Trusting routine. The castle stands firm. The walls hold. The men remain awake. And sleep waits. In small pieces. The night stretches onward. Quiet and unbroken. As if time itself has slowed. To match the patience of stone. And the breath of those who watch. Along the walls. Guards change their pace. Slow steps. Measured turns. Movement keeps the cold from settling too deeply. A hand brushes the rough stone. Cold even through cloth. The surface damp with night air. Stone does not sleep. It only waits. Below the battlements. The inner yard lies empty. Shadows gather in corners. Snow crunches softly underfoot. Then falls silent again. In small guard rooms. Built into the thickness of the wall. Men gather briefly. Out of the wind. Sharing the same narrow space. These rooms are bare. Stone on every side. A low ceiling. Sometimes a small hearth. Often cold ash only. When a fire is allowed. It burns low. Wood carefully rationed. Just enough to warm hands. Never enough to linger. Guards take turns near the warmth. Holding palms open. Feeling life return briefly. Then stepping aside. So another may share. Meals arrive quietly. Brought from the castle kitchens. Bread wrapped in cloth. Porridge carried in small pots. Steam rising briefly in the cold. Food is eaten without ceremony. Standing. Leaning against walls. Spoons moving slowly. Each mouthful valued. The warmth of food matters. It stays longer than fire. It settles in the body. Giving strength for the next watch. A simple comfort. Clothing is adjusted often. Cloaks pulled tighter. Belts loosened slightly. Layers shifted. Every movement practiced. Wool grows heavy with damp. Snow melts. Then freezes again. Cloth stiffens. The body learns to ignore it. Under cloaks. Linen clings close. Thin. Worn smooth by years of use. It holds warmth quietly. Boots are checked often. Leather cracked by cold. Soling worn thin. Feet are precious. A numb foot is dangerous. Guards stamp lightly. Shift weight. Never standing still too long. Cold creeps upward otherwise. The body knows this well. From the towers. The land stretches dark and empty. Fields lie frozen. Roads disappear beneath snow. Nothing moves beyond the walls. This quiet is familiar. Not frightening. Just deep. The kind that fills winter nights. And asks for endurance. Sleep comes only in pieces. A few moments leaning against wood. Eyes closed. Breath slowed. Then duty calls again. One guard rests while another walks. Watches change quietly. No raised voices. Only a nod. A shared understanding. Inside the gatehouse. Straw is spread near the wall. A guard lowers himself briefly. Cloak wrapped tight. Helmet set beside him. The stone draws warmth away quickly. Sleep stays light. The body remains alert. Used to rising without warning. Winter teaches this skill. Outside. The wind shifts direction. Finding new cracks. whispering through iron fittings. The castle answers with silence. From below, the town gives no sound. Hearths are low. Families sleep close. The night belongs to the guards now. These men are not remembered in songs. They leave no grand marks. Yet they keep the walls secure. Through cold and darkness. Night after night. The hours pass slowly. Measured by changing watches. By the feel of cold in the bones. By the faint paling of the sky. Still far away. And so the guards continue. Wrapped in wool. Bound by routine. Holding their place against winter. Until the night loosens its grip. The night deepens further. Slowly. Without signal. As if the castle itself has settled into stillness. And chosen to wait. Along the outer walls. Guards continue their quiet movement. Steps slow and careful. Never hurried. Never careless. Hands rest on spear shafts. Wood smooth from use. Cold even through gloves. Weapons are simple. Trusted through familiarity. The stone beneath their feet holds frost. Thin and sharp. It numbs through leather soles. Guards know when to move. Before feeling fades too far. At the corners of towers. They pause briefly. Looking out into darkness. Fields unseen. Roads silent. There is nothing to watch for tonight. And yet. Watching must be done. Winter does not excuse duty. Routine carries them forward. Inside the walls. Small spaces offer brief rest. A guard leans against timber. Shoulders heavy. Eyes closed for a moment. Sleep comes lightly. Never fully claimed. The body remains ready. Listening even while resting. A skill learned slowly. The wind moves again. Not strong. But persistent. It slides along stone. Finds iron fittings. Metal sings softly in the cold. A faint sound. Never sharp. Guards barely notice it now. It belongs to the night. Below. In the town. Life is far removed from these walls. Hearths are dim. Families breathe together in sleep. Guards know this difference. They feel it in their bones. Wood and earth hold warmth better. Stone gives protection. But demands endurance. Still. The castle must stand. And so must they. Against cold. Against time. Against fatigue. Food has settled in their stomachs. Simple and filling. It gives strength. Not comfort. But enough. Guards adjust cloaks again. Pulling wool closer. Tucking fabric beneath belts. Every small detail matters. In a long night. One man rubs his hands together. Slowly. Quietly. Heat returns briefly. Then fades again. Another shifts his weight. From foot to foot. Keeping blood moving. Never fully still. Stillness belongs to stone. In a tower chamber. Two guards share a narrow bench. backs pressed to the wall, cloaks overlapping, sharing what warmth they can. Words are few, almost none. Speech wastes breath, and breath is warmth. Silence is practical. The hours pass without count. No bells mark them. Only the slow change of the sky. Still hidden, but coming. Before dawn, the cold sharpens again. This is the hardest time, when fatigue meets frost, and patience is tested. Eyes grow heavy, lids droop, but posture remains alert. The body refuses deep sleep. It has learned better. A guard stands near a brazier. Empty now. Ash cold and gray. Its warmth long gone. Its purpose fulfilled. Another guard passes. A nod exchanged. No word spoken. Understanding moves between them. Shared by experience. These men know the shape of winter nights. They have walked them many times. They know when to endure. When to move. When to rest briefly. The castle remains silent. Its walls unchanged. Its towers unmoving. Stone does not care for cold. It simply exists. And so, the guards continue their watch. Wrapped in wool. Anchored by routine. Carrying the night forward. Sleep waits for morning. In warmer places. On straw and wood. But here, wakefulness must last. The night still has many hours. And the guards remain. Quiet. Steady. Enduring. The night holds its depth. Unchanged. Steady. As if the darkness itself has settled into place. Around the stone walls. The guards move more slowly now. Not from weakness. But from care. Every step measured. Every pause considered. The cold has found its way into cloth. Into wool and leather. It rests there quietly. Waiting for stillness. The guards do not give it that gift. They walk the same paths again. Along the battlements. Past the towers. Between familiar stones. Each step known by memory. Hands brush the wall. Feeling its rough surface. Cold and damp. Stone has no warmth to share. Only strength. In sheltered corners. Guards pause briefly. Turning backs to the wind. Cloaks pulled tighter. Hoods lowered further. These pauses are short. Never long enough for sleep. Just enough to gather breath. To feel blood move again. Then motion resumes. Inside a narrow tower chamber. A single candle burns low. Its flame weak. Protected from drafts. Giving more comfort than light. Guards step near it in turn. Holding hands close. Feeling the smallest warmth. Then stepping away. So it may last. Fuel is precious here. Wood carried up many stairs. Stored carefully. Used sparingly. Every splinter counted. Below. The inner yard lies silent. Snow covers the ground evenly. Footprints from earlier watches are gone. The world feels newly made. And empty. The wind changes direction again. Sliding along the walls. Finding iron hinges. Causing a low sound. Almost like a breath. Guards do not react. They know these sounds. Winter speaks through stone and metal. It always has. It always will. Fatigue settles into the body. Not suddenly. But gradually. Like frost creeping inward. From the edges. Eyes grow heavy. Blinking slows. Yet awareness remains. The mind stays alert. Even as the body tires. This balance is learned. Over many nights. Through many winters. A guard survives by knowing his limits. And respecting them. One man leans briefly against a wooden beam. Not stone. Wood gives less cold. His breath slows. Eyes close for a few heartbeats. Then he straightens. Steps away. Returns to the path. Duty calls him back. Without words. The castle remains unchanged. Unmoved by the passing hours. Its walls do not tire. Its towers do not sleep. Only the men do, in moments. Somewhere below. In a small house near the gate. A family sleeps close to the hearth. Guards know this warmth exists. Even if they cannot share it. Still. They keep their watch. Not for praise. Not for reward. But because the night demands it. The sky remains dark. No sign of dawn yet. Stars hidden by cloud. The cold at its strongest. The silence complete. And so the guards endure this hour. The longest one. Wrapped in wool. Held upright by habit. And quiet resolve. The castle waits with them. Stone and shadow together. As the night continues. Slowly. Without end. The night begins to loosen its hold. Not quickly. Not with warmth. But with a subtle change in stillness. Almost felt rather than seen. The guards sense it before they see it. A slight easing in the air. A change in the way cold settles on the skin. Winter is still present. But it has paused its advance. Steps continue along the walls. Slow and steady. Boots striking stone with familiar sound. Each footfall known. Each corner expected. The body moves from memory now. Muscles acting without thought. Years of nights have taught them this rhythm. When to move. When to pause. In a narrow stretch of battlement. Two guards cross paths. A nod is exchanged. Nothing more. Words are unnecessary. One carries a small lantern. Its light shielded by horn panels. The glow faint. Just enough to guide steps. Not enough to waste oil. The flame trembles slightly. Responding to the air. But it does not go out. Like the men themselves. It endures quietly. Cold remains in the stone. Deep and unyielding. Even now, it seeps upward through boots. The guards adjust their stance. Weight shifts from foot to foot. Blood kept moving. This is not taught in words. It is learned through pain. And remembered forever. Inside the gatehouse, a few guards gather again, sharing a narrow space. Cloaks overlapping. Breath warming the air slightly. No one sleeps deeply. Eyes close for moments only. The body rests without surrender. Always ready to rise. Always listening. The hearth here is cold. Ash gray and settled. Fuel saved for daylight. The fire has done its work. And must wait. Food has long since been eaten. Hunger is distant now. Cold demands more attention. The stomach is quiet. The body focused. Outside, snow has stopped falling. The ground lies smooth and pale. Sound feels distant, as if swallowed by the night. The world feels far away. The town below remains silent. No light escapes from shutters. No movement stirs. Families sleep close to their hearths, unaware of the watch above. Guards know this silence well. It is not emptiness. It is rest. Earned by those who sleep. And protected by those who do not. Fatigue presses gently now. Like a hand on the shoulder. Not unbearable. Just constant. A companion through the hours. Eyes blink more often. Breath deepens. The body asks for rest. But duty answers first. And the watch continues. Somewhere along the wall, a guard pauses at a familiar spot. Sheltered from wind. He stands still for a moment. Feeling the stone at his back. The cold is sharp. But expected. He adjusts his cloak again. Tucks fabric closer. And moves on. These men measure night differently. Not by hours. But by endurance. By how long the body holds. And how well routine carries them. The castle remains unchanged. Stone against sky. Dark against darker. It stands because it was built to. As the guards stand because they must. The sky begins to thin. Not bright. Not light. Just less heavy. A subtle shift above the towers. The guards do not speak of it. They feel it quietly. Dawn will come. Eventually. As it always does. Until then. They remain at their posts. Wrapped in wool. Anchored by habit. Holding the last stretch of night. The castle waits with them. Silent. Patient. As the cold medieval night slowly prepares to pass. The night moves into its final stretch. Slowly. Almost reluctantly. As if the darkness wishes to linger a little longer. Around the stone walls. The guards feel the change before they see it. The cold is still sharp. But it no longer deepens. It settles. Holding steady. Breath rises in pale clouds. Then thins. each breath slower than before. The body grows accustomed to this final hour. Steps continue along the battlements. The same paths. The same turns. Stone worn smooth by countless boots. By countless nights like this. Fatigue rests in the muscles now. Not heavy, but present. A quiet reminder of hours past. And hours endured. Guards lean briefly against wooden railings. Never stone. Wood holds less cold. This knowledge is shared by all. Learned early. Hands are rubbed together again. Slowly. Deliberately. Warmth returns for a moment. Then fades. The lantern light grows weaker. Oil nearly spent. Its glow softer now. Enough to mark edges. Enough to guide feet. No one rushes. There is no reason. The night has its own pace. And the guards follow it. Step by step. Inside the gatehouse. A few men stand close together. Sharing body heat. Shoulders touching. Cloaks overlapping. No words are exchanged. Speech would steal warmth. Silence is practical. Silence is understood. Silence belongs to this hour. The hearth remains cold. Ash undisturbed. Fire will return with daylight. For now. The night finishes its work. Outside the walls. The land lies still. Snow unmarked. Fields pale and silent. Nothing stirs. The town below sleeps deeply now. Closer to dawn than midnight. Hearths nearly cold. Bodies pressed close. Dreams thin and quiet. The guards know this moment. The point where vigilance becomes hardest. When the body longs for rest. But duty still holds. Firm and steady. Eyes grow heavy. Blinking slows. Yet awareness remains. Trained. Refined through many winters. A guard pauses at a tower corner. Looks out once more. Nothing moves. Nothing changes. The night offers no surprise. Satisfied. He turns back to the path. Boots scraping stone softly. The sound brief. Then swallowed by quiet. The castle stands unchanged. Walls dark and patient. Towers unmoving. Stone indifferent to cold. And to time. These walls have seen centuries. They will see more. But tonight. They belong to these men. And their quiet endurance. The sky begins to pale. Not with color. Only with less darkness. A thinning of night. Barely noticed. The guards do not speak of dawn. They never do. To name it is to hurry it. And the night will end in its own time. As it always has. Movement continues. Slow. Measured. Routine carries the body now. More than strength. Each man knows his place. Where to stand. Where to walk. Where to pause. Habit is warmth of its own. The cold still bites. But it no longer surprises. It has done its worst. The guards have endured. Once again. Soon. The watch will change. Footsteps will sound more often. Voices will return softly. Daylight will claim the walls. But for now, this final quiet remains. Stone, breath, wool, and patience. The guards hold their posts. Through the last moments of night. Wrapped in routine. Anchored by resolve. Until the medieval dawn arrives. The night reaches its quiet end. Not suddenly. Not with sound. But with a slow easing of darkness. That settles gently over the castle. The guards feel it in their bodies. Before their eyes notice anything. The cold still lingers. But it no longer deepens. It begins to loosen. Breath no longer clouds as thickly. The air shifts. Just slightly. Enough to sense change. Enough to bring calm. Along the walls. Steps continue. Slow. Measured. Almost guided by habit alone. Fatigue rests heavily now. But it is familiar. Accepted. The body knows this hour. It has passed through it many times. Guards lean briefly against wooden posts. Never stone. Feeling the difference immediately. Wood gives back a little warmth. Stone gives nothing. Cloaks are adjusted one last time. Fabric pulled closer. Hoods lowered against the wind. These movements are quiet. Almost without thought. The lantern flames flicker weakly. Oil nearly gone. Their light barely needed now. Edges of the wall grow clearer. Darkness thins. Inside the gatehouse. Men stand together again. Sharing body heat. Sharing silence. Waiting without words. No one speaks of rest. No one speaks of sleep. They all know it is close. There is no need to call it. It will arrive on its own. The hearth remains cold. Ash untouched. Fire belongs to the day. The night has finished with flame. It leaves only endurance. Outside the walls. The land remains still. Snow pale and smooth. Fields quiet. The world holds its breath. The town below begins to stir. Not with sound. Only with the faintest sense of life returning. A door opening somewhere. A movement behind shutters. Guards sense this too. The shift from watching sleep to watching waking. The most delicate moment of all. When vigilance still matters. Eyes remain alert. Even as the body relaxes slightly. The hardest hours are nearly past. But duty remains until the end. And so they stay. The sky pales further. No color yet. Only less shadow. Stone outlines sharpen. Towers emerge from night. A final circuit is made. The same path walked countless times. Boots find familiar stones. Hands brush familiar walls. Everything is known. Cold still touches the skin. But it no longer commands attention. It has been endured. Accepted. Outlasted. These guards are not heroes of stories. They are not remembered by name. But they hold the night. They carry winter on their shoulders. So others may sleep. Soon. The watch will change. The rhythm will shift. Day will claim the walls. And these men will seek straw and rest. But for this moment, they remain where they are. Standing between darkness and light. Wrapped in wool and routine. As they always have been. The castle stands quiet. Stone pale in the early light. Walls unchanged. Towers steady. Holding the memory of night. And as dawn finally arrives, soft and unannounced, the long cold watch ends. Not with words, but with stillness.